Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think tonight. Tonight's question, is John Boehner ignoring the American people to save his job as Speaker? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. You can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. I'm joined tonight by California Congressman John Garamendi, who sits on the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, good to have you with us.
Good to be with you, as always.
You bet. Interesting point brought up by your colleague about how the timing of this is getting more and more interesting. Is John Boehner delaying a deal in order to protect his job? What do you think?
Well, we certainly know he has a very raucous caucus. He has a very divided caucus, one that is causing him great angst and a lot of trouble pulling it together. What he needs to do is to reach across the aisle, come to the Democrats, and we put this thing together in half a day. But he hasn't been willing to do that because he could very well lose his job if he were to seek a compromise.
Do you think there's enough progressives, liberals in the House that could circulate a petition and say maybe we better go to a higher rate if Boehner wants to start taking hostages? Maybe we should go to 42 or 43%. Maybe he better take this deal while it's on the table. What about that?
Well, there are many different kinds of leverage, but the big leverage is already out there. That is, everyone's taxes are going to go up on January 1st unless the Republicans come to the table and accept the fact that middle-class tax bill is already on in the House.
But that hasn't moved him yet, Congressman. That has not moved John Boehner as of yet. What's it going to take to move him?
Well, about 20 more days. Because then it happens. In 20 days, we're going to see those taxes go up on middle-class Americans, and that is not in his interest. It certainly is not in the interest of the economy, and it's all going to be laid right on his doorstep and on the doorstep of his entire caucus. And so it's up to him. He's got to make the deal, just as Minority Leader Pelosi said. It's a tough job, but you've got to do it because you're the leader in the House. You set the pace. He's got to come. If he came to the Democrats tomorrow, we could put this thing out. Would he lose his job? I don't know. But that's not about his job. It's about the American public and the middle class out there and the economy.
Well, Boehner is telling members that they shouldn't be making any plans for the holidays, and they're dragging their feet through the holidays, I guess. You wrote that these negotiations are this way, the way you see it. You wrote on Huffington Post, I'm willing to take a tough vote. I'm willing to make sacrifices. I'm willing to feel the heat, but I'm not willing to solve the fiscal cliff by throwing seniors over the cliff. I draw the line at cutting benefits in Medicare and Social Security. What line are you willing to cross to get a deal with the Republicans?
Well, I just said what line I'm not willing to cross. The lines that can be done on Medicare, there are very significant savings available in Medicare. The president has proposed, what, $350 billion of savings over 10 years without touching the benefits. The notion of increasing the eligible age to 66, 67 is really stupid. There's no other way to describe it. It is bad public policy. It is terrible for seniors, and it doesn't save much money. What it does, it shifts the cost to those people that can't get to Medicare because they're not yet old enough, and it will also shift the cost back to employers and to the new exchanges, which are going to be created in just a year and a half. So it is just really a non-starter to throw the seniors over the cliff. But we could do things. How about negotiating drug prices? Prevented by law, the federal government's prevented by the current law put in during the Bush administration, can't negotiate with drug prices.
Do you really think the Republicans would agree to that? I mean, that would be the same thing as the Veterans Administration. They're allowed to negotiate. But if you do that, of course, is going to be a hit to Big Pharma, and Republicans are going to protect big business.
Well, I'm sorry. This is about the American economy. This is about balancing our budget. There are going to be a lot of hits taken in this situation. We know there are going to be cuts in other areas. We know there's also a lot of fraud. Just reported in the last week that there's about $28 billion of fraud a year and a half ago in the Medicare system. We need to continue to go after that. We need to also make sure that the payments to doctors and providers are both adequate and not unnecessarily high. And we've done a lot of prevention. We've already seen the inflation rate in Medicare reduced significantly since the Affordable Health Care Act.
So you're heading in the right direction. They should take this deal. And you're saying another 20 days. Home for the holidays might not happen. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight.
Always.
John Garamendi from California with us here on The Ed Show. Remember to answer tonight's question there at the bottom of the screen.